Apparently this is a pretty good year for weed control.
It's been really good, Stu. Some things that probably shouldn't even look as good as they do look really good. It's as far as the last 10, 15 years go on the pre-side of things, this has probably been one of the best years.
And why is that?
I think, in terms of water hemp control, which is the primary weed target these days, it was cool early on. It wasn't really that optimum germination temperature for water hemp, and I think that helped quite a bit. We really didn't see that major flush of water hemp till it was time for that post-spray in corn about 2 weeks ago.
So it was the weather that retarded its growth, and then when we could get into the field, we zapped it.
Right, and the other thing is the rainfall, and it wasn't just as much as timely, but it was the amounts we were getting. 4/10 here, 3/10 here, quarter inch here. It wasn't really flushing any herbicide through the root zone, so I think that played a critical role as well.
Okay. Any of the products out there that either really surprised you because of their performance or kind of disappointed?
I don't think anything really disappointed. I think I was more surprised on some of like the older chemistry half-rate premixes on the pre-corn side of things. We actually had to call several industry reps because their post-timing, they wanted to see 3 to 4 inch weed height, and we were getting to the point where another week or 10 days the rows are going to be shaded. So do you want us to spray that or not, essentially? So we had a lot of those phone calls, and they all said to do it before the rows get shaded. But that was the surprising part to me because, again, the last couple of years, in terms of, pre-corn, those standard pre-mixes, half rates, really haven't done the job as well as what they used to do.
Okay, let's continue on with corn then.
Mm-hmm.
What was out there that you tried and you were pretty happy with the results?
A lot of it, those standard half-rate premixes, so something with an HPPD like Callisto, something with atrazine, and then a group 15, whether it be acetochlor or metolachlor. A lot of that, we looked at metribuzin on pre-corn again this year. That's something that's kind of new. And then, we also looked at full rates of those premixes on corn as well, and everything looks just about the same. It's all tremendous.
Okay, so whatever a guy used out there this year, he should be happy. And does that mean to continue on with that next year, or be a little bit wary and try something else next year?
Well, I think that every year applies to that year, unfortunately. But I do think that I do think that the strong message in terms of water hemp control is keeping it from emerging as long as you possibly can. Because once it gets out of the ground and gains multiple growing points, it's pretty much game on from that point.
So make sure that you do get that pre-emerge on there for whatever crop you're growing then.
Yes, and I would focus on higher rates if you have the soil that permits that.
Okay. Any recommendations on that pre-emerge herbicide?
Well, I would look, Group 15s have their place, I think, if they're used correctly as far as rate structure goes, and that's where I think the higher rates, getting more Group 15 out on the front side of things would be more beneficial. I think growers would be happy with that in terms of water hemp control.
Okay. How about soybeans for this year? What did you think, hey, this really worked, or we need to do something else next year?
Anything, probably my favorite one so far this year is it's a combination, it's different products in the tank together, but it's basically you have a Group 15 for your grass control. You have metribuzin at a proper rate for water hemp control, so probably something equivalent to that 10 ounces of 75 DF. I really wouldn't go below 8 in terms of the length, the duration of that residual, and then something for your broadleaf weed control as well. So morning glory, velvet leaf, those things as well. Something like a PPO, like a sulfentrazone. Those pre's in a tank mixture have looked really, really good.
Any new products that are coming onto the market for 26 that you've tested out here that you think, hey, might be an opportunity?
Well, again, things look really good this year. I know UPL is probably going to be launching their Intrava products that target metribuzin specifically. There's been a lot of buzz around Bayer's new Group 12 Conventro. And again, Liberty Ultra, we've looked at that from BASF. There's been a couple different, quote unquote new chemistries or new premixes.
Right.
Might be older chemistry, but we haven't seen them work together as well as we have this year.
Okay.
So
ran into one last week, difluinican.
Yes.
And I wondered if it was I can or I can't.
Yeah, exactly. That's the Conventro from Bayer. That's the same. That's the active ingredient in Conventro.
Okay. All right. What have I not asked about that's important that guys are going to want to know that you might suggest?
Why don't we, the one thing that I ran into is with the early soybeans this year, number one, the injury on the pre side of things because of how cool it was when they were sprayed. A lot of PPO injury. I've been asked about metribuzin injury, and whenever I've gone on a call, I'm not saying there's not some metribuzin injury, especially if they're Levo treated soybeans, but the majority has been PPO injury. So with that said, the beans were stunted, they were delayed, and then if you didn't get the rainfall right away to incorporate that, you might have had a flush of water hemp come, and then at that time to post spray, it was mid 70s, and we know Liberty loves heat. Not great termination on that. So if you're in that boat, I would be cleaning up your bean fields this week if at all possible with the heat that we have, and making sure that you can get adequate coverage if at all possible.